Hello, my name is Chelsea, and today's practice is going to be focused on opening up and releasing tension in the side body and in the front body. So I'm thinking front of the chest, front of the shoulder, front of the hips. Even before we were all working from home, we kind of always are hunched a little bit forward and down, even more so now as we spend a lot of time on our computers. So I think it's really important that we broaden across the front body, a little bit strength in the back body, so that we can find a little bit of balance in the body, okay? To begin, just sit up nice and tall. Take your hands to your thighs or your knees, whatever is comfortable. And if sitting up tall is a challenge for you, sit on a block or sit on a blanket. Just get your pelvis up a little higher than your knees. And then just close your eyes for a moment. Just take a few slow, deep breaths, just on your own. As you inhale, think about picking up the bottom ribs and lifting them away from your hips. Kind of simultaneously think about allowing your thigh bones to sink towards the ground. Good, and as that weight pulls you down from the hips and legs, with the breath, lift from the bottom ribs, and also see if you can cultivate a feeling of width across the front of your chest. Good, take one more inhalation here. And as you exhale, blink your eyes open. Take your right hand, take it a big step out to the side, palm to the floor. Turn the inside of your elbow towards your thumb. Inhale, reach your left arm up, get really tall through your left waist. Exhale, bend your right elbow any amount. Take a little side bend here. So as we bend the bottom elbow, we tend to let the shoulder come into the ear. Try to mitigate that. Now from here, take your left hand behind your head. As you inhale, take your left elbow up and back, any amount. It may not go very far, that's totally okay. Think about making your left sitting bone heavy and with your left elbow reaching up. On your exhalation, take your left elbow, that's the one pointing up, towards your right elbow. Again, any amount. Mine doesn't go very far. I like to think of it actually as going over my right knee. Good, take an inhalation in between your shoulder blades. So the upper back is a little rounding. Good, on your next inhale, sweep your left elbow up and back. Exhale, take top elbow towards bottom right knee. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, take your top elbow towards your bottom right knee. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, take your left hand outside your left hip, like a big step. And then take that same side bend up and over. Bend your bottom elbow a little bit, but keep your bottom shoulder out of your ear. And then bend your top elbow, take the palm of your hand to the back of your head. Inhale, trace that little rainbow arc up and open, any amount. Again, I don't rotate that far. Good, sink down through the right sitting bones, lift up through your right elbow. Good, on your exhalation, sweep your top elbow towards your bottom left knee, so you're coming down at a diagonal. And then just pause here for a moment. Inhale some space in between your two shoulder blades. Inhale, open up, left elbow goes up. Exhale, take your top elbow towards your bottom knee. Inhale, sweep up and back with the top elbow. Exhale, rotate towards the floor. Inhale, come all the way up to center, reach your arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, pull your hands to heart. Transition onto your hands and knees into a tabletop pose. Stack your hips above your knees and take your wrists just a little bit forward of your shoulders. Create a little bit of core containment, so the lower abdominals pull up and a little bit in towards your lower back. You're not rounding your lower back, but there's a little bit of firmness to the front of the abdominals. And then reach your right leg back towards the back of your yoga mat. Doesn't have to lift super high. In fact, if it lifts too high, we tend to turn the hips. So try to keep your right outer hip wrapped down, but your right leg strong and actively pressing back. And then reach your left arm up by your left ear towards the front of the mat. Now with your right heel, that's the one behind you, press back like you're trying to pull it out of your hip. And with your left fingertips, try to pull your left arm like you're pulling your shoulder out of your ribs. Good, stay with that, breathe in. And then as you exhale, take your left hand back to the mat, swing your right leg behind you, and plant your right foot, the ball of the foot, to the floor. Good. Take your gaze over your left shoulder so you can see your right heel. And then give your inner thighs a little squeeze, a little engagement together. And then pop your right rib cage to the right. Now, with the right hand, grip the mat and make the action of pulling forward. You'll feel that in the right side body. Breathe in right there, right in that space. And then as you exhale, come back to hands and knees. Reach your left leg back, push through the heel. Keep the leg active, doesn't matter how high the leg is. And again, once the leg goes up and the arms go up, the lower abs, they tend to drop, so don't let that happen. Hold them firm, reach your right arm forward. Good, use your back foot to create some space in the bottom of your waist on the left side. Use your right fingertips to try to pull some space just into your right side body. Good, take one more inhalation. Exhale, take your hand down, swing your leg behind you, plant the ball of your foot to the floor. Squeeze your inner thighs together, dig the ball of your foot down, and then just look over your right shoulder. Let your left ribs splay a little to the left, and use your left hand to push the mat and to make the action of pulling the top of your mat towards the back of your mat. Good, take one more inhalation. And then exhale, come back to all fours. Step your hands about one handprint forward. Inhale. Exhale, tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Come into downward facing dog. Knees can be bent, knees can be straight. You can just hold this pose here or pedal your feet out. Just alternate bending and straightening right and left legs. Good, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward into plank pose, the top of a push-up, and then pause here. Don't let your lower back sag. Tighten up the lower abs. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, lower your knees, lower all the way down. And then airplane your arms behind you, palms face down. Keep your palms on the floor, but roll the fronts of your shoulders away from the floor. And think about your shoulder blades behind you, pulling towards each other and towards your hips. Now lift your arms. Now lift your legs. Locust pose. This is not a big range of motion pose. It's not a big stretchy pose, but it is such a good pose to strengthen everything along the posterior chain of the body. So either stay here or interlace your hands behind you and press your knuckles towards your heels. Take one more inhalation. Exhale everything down, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, press up to all fours. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale and down dog, pitch your sitting bones up and back. Exhale, walk or hop your feet to the front of your mat. Hips width and fold. Inhale, halfway lift your chest. Take your hands to the tops of your shins so that your hip joint's at a 90-degree angle. And then anchor down into your heels. Anchor back through the tops of your thighs and pull the crown of your head forward. Good, stay with that, breathe in. Exhale, refold into your legs. Inhale, sweep your arms up, drive your heels down. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then just some easy breath to movement coordination. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Inhale, flatten your back. Exhale, refold into your legs. Inhale, sweep up. Use your legs to push the floor away. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Use your legs, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good, building. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands and step your right foot to the back of your mat, right knee to the floor. Inhale, reach up through your arms, lift your chest, low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor, airplane your arms behind you. Inhale, lift everything up, locust pose. Exhale, lower down, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, press up to all fours or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands, lower your back knee to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, interlace your hands behind you this time, and then stay here for an extra breath. Pull the low belly in. Inhale, pull the front of your shoulders a little bit away from each other. Exhale, release your bind, step forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, all the way up, push through your heels. Exhale, hands to heart. One more like that. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands down, step your left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up, come into a lunge. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, all the way to the mat. Airplane your arms behind you. Inhale, locust pose. Strengthen the back, lift the front. Exhale, feet down, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, press up to plank or all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands, right knee down. Inhale, chest up, interlace your hands behind you. Exhale, pull your lower belly in towards your lower back. Inhale, with your shoulder blades, pull in and down. Exhale, hands to the front of your mat, step forward and fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up, lift your ribs. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, reach up, elongate. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands down, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Post up on your right hand, either on a block or fingertips or a fist. Inhale, reach your left arm up, turn your chest towards the left side of your mat, so towards the front knee. Press your right hamstrings towards the ceiling, and then just lean back with the left shoulder. So there's a lot of space in the front of the chest. Good, take one more inhalation, lean your head a little back. Exhale, left hand down. Spin your right heel down. Inhale, rise up, come into warrior two. And just take a moment, find your stride. Heels are in alignment, or stride might be a little wider than that, just depends on your body. Reach your arms away from the center of your body. Good. Interlace your hands behind you. And keep your elbows a little bit bent. And before you straighten your arms, pull your shoulder blades together and down. And then from there, stretch your arms reach your knuckles towards the floor. Good, so the chest opening is coming from actually the things on the back body contracting and moving together. Good, release your bind. Inhale, reach your arms wide. Exhale, take your right forearm to your right thigh, left arm up, side angle pose. Now for a moment, push into your left forearm and turn your chest open. Now just like the beginning of class, bend your right elbow, take your hands to the back of your head. Inhale, lean your top elbow back, any amount. Exhale, bring your right elbow towards your front knee. Inhale, up and back with the top elbow. Exhale, top elbow forward and down. Inhale, lean up and back. Some little twisting in the upper spine. Exhale, top arm forward and down. Inhale, come all the way up, warrior two. Exhale, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Post up on your right hand. And then inhale, turn your chest, reach your top arm up. Good. Hug in with your inner thighs. Engage the back leg all the way. Turn from the shoulders. Stay there, breathe in. Then exhale, left hand down. Spin your back heel down. And then inhale, all the way up, warrior two. Good. Now from here, interlace your hands behind you. And instead of just taking the front of your shoulders back, take the shoulder blades towards each other and towards the floor. And then from there, straighten the rest of your arms, reach your knuckles towards the ground. Good, stay with that for one more inhalation. And then exhale, reach your arms wide. Take your front forearm to your bent knee, reach your other arm up towards the ceiling. Good, side angle pose. For a moment, find some space in the bottom neck. So push into your forearm so that you're not like collapsing into that side. Bend your top elbow, hand to the back of your head. Inhale, open up. Elbow goes up and back. Exhale, take your top elbow towards your bent knee. Inhale, elbow up and back. Exhale, elbow down towards your front knee. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, take your elbow towards your front knee. Inhale, everything up, warrior two. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, in downward facing dog, lift through the hips, ground through your hands. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot behind your right hand, so strides a little bit wide. And then step your back foot forward a little so that you can get your heel on the ground. I keep my feet as wide as my hips, sometimes a little wider. And then as you inhale, just come up with your hands in prayer. So this is a warrior one-ish type stride. Actually, take your hands to your hips for a moment. Really push into your back heel a lot and engage your left glute, so the one behind you. Squeeze it a little. Keep that anchoring into the back of your mat. Turn your hips any amount towards the front leg. And then once your hips stop moving easily, then see if you can turn a little bit more from the chest. From there, as you inhale, sweep your arms behind you, palms facing forward. Now from here, shoulder blades pull towards your hips, shoulder blades squeeze towards your spine. Option here to bind your hands. And as you inhale, roll the front of your chest open. As you exhale, pull the front of your ribs a little in and back. Good. Let the bind in your hands go, hands to hips. Inhale, straighten your right knee. Exhale, fold forward until you're about parallel to the floor. Inhale, push into your front heel, pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold all the way into your front legs. Pyramid pose. My preference is this pose on blocks or books or something for a little bit of support. Good, let your head go heavy. Keep as much weight in the back foot as you have in the front foot. And just a tiny, tiny bit, pull your right outer hip towards the back of your yoga mat. Good, stay with that for one more inhalation. And as you exhale, bend into your front knee. Lift your back heel off the floor so you're in a lunge. And then lower your left knee to the floor. Walk your right foot to the right side of your mat. Keep your heel bone on the mat, but turn your toes about 45 degrees off. So you have a nice broad, wide stance here. Both arms inside of the front leg. If this gets pinchy in the front of the right hip, keep walking your leg either to the right or a little bit forward. Just kind of decompress that hip socket. Okay, options here. You stay here and you push down a lot with the back foot and pull your chest forward. That's option one, good option. Option two, you bend your back knee and pull your heel towards your butt. Option three, you take your right hand to the back of your pelvis and you turn your chest towards your front knee. So you have some left hip flexor stretching, some rotation in the spine. Option four, you take your right hand and you hold your foot. Hold the pinky toe side of the foot. If you make that bind with your back foot, kick into your hand, roll your chest towards the ceiling. And then don't let your hips be super heavy. A little bit, lift them. Good, stay with that for one more inhale. Exhale, let your foot go with control. Walk your right foot in line with your right hip. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot behind your left hand. So shorter stride than warrior two. Spin your back heel down, and then come on up with your hands and your hips. Ground into your right heel. Engage your right glutes. Lift your chest up. Now sweep your arms back as you breathe in, palms face forward. Hug your shoulder blades together. Option here to interlace your hands and pull your upper arms back. Pull your front ribs back. Keep engagement in the back heel. Good, take one more inhalation. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, straighten your left knee. Exhale, hinge and fold halfway. Inhale, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold into your front leg, pyramid pose. Support yourself in this pose and seriously every pose. Like these poses should serve your body. So they're adjustable. You can modify them. You can dial intensity up, you can take intensity down. You work with the postures with the body that you actually live in, otherwise what's the point? Good, dig your left big toe down, suction your left hip crease back. Inhale. And then exhale, bend into your left knee, pop your back heel up, bend your back knee, take it to the floor. Take both arms inside of your front leg, walk your left foot off to the side, spin the ball of your foot 45 degrees off the mat. Come into a lizard lunge. Good, with your right foot you push the floor and you lift your hips a little. Good place to stay. Or bend your back knee. That gives you a little bit more intensity in the back hip flexors and quads. Or take your left hand to the back of your pelvis and just turn your chest towards your bent knee. And then option to hold the foot. Whichever option you take, the principles are the same. You don't want to get heavy in the hips. You want to use what's in contact with the ground, so your front foot and your back knee, to lift your hips away from the ground. And then any amount you're turning your left shoulder towards your left knee, opening up the front of the chest. Good, one more inhalation. Exhale, let that go. Walk your left foot towards the center of your mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor, and then transition onto your back. It's hard to see what your shins are doing when you're laying on your back, but try to get your shins pretty much perpendicular to the floor. Feet are about as wide as your hips. Take your arms by your sides. Inhale here. As you exhale, create a little bit of anterior core, so front of the core engagement, as you lift your hips up into bridge pose. You can keep your arms where they are, or you can hold the edges of your mat and make the action of pulling your mat apart. That'll make you want to walk your shoulder blades towards each other. That's a good thing. So do that. Or take your hands and interlace them underneath your pelvis. Walk your shoulder blades towards each other. And with the outside of your shoulders, push down. Good. Take one more full inhalation here. Kind of give the glutes a little engagement to lift the hips. Exhale all the way down. Good. Lift your hips up just a touch. Bump them to the left side of your mat. And then bring your knees in towards your chest. Cross your left leg all the way on top of your right leg. And then roll all the way to your right, like you are in the fetal position. Now from this position, you can see the angle of your legs. So the top thigh, your left thigh, take it at about 90 degrees to your torso. And then reach both arms straight out from your shoulders. Stack your left palm on top of your right palm. Now we're going to do some twists. With the legs like this, the hips are going to stay fixed. And as you inhale, reach your left arm up and back towards the left side of your mat. Now my left arm does not come to the floor, but it's not uncomfortable. If yours does come to the floor and it's comfortable, great. If it doesn't come to the floor and it's uncomfortable, either prop it up or take your left fingertips to your left ribs. Good. Stay here, breathe in. And as you breathe out, take your left hand, place it back on top of your right hand. And then come all the way back up to center. Uncross your legs. Lift your hips up. Take them to the right. Take your right thigh on top of your left thigh. Pull your knees in. And then take everything to the left. Like you're going to go to sleep. After we go to sleep. Stack your your right hand on top of your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the sky. And then over to the right side of your yoga mat. Arms are reaching wide. With your inner thighs, just a tiny bit of engagement. And let your right shoulder blade get heavy. Again, when we keep the legs twisted like this or interlaced like this, it forces more of the rotation into the upper part of the spine, which tends to be a little bit tighter across the front side. Good. One more inhale, reach your fingertips away from each other. Exhale, bring your right hand back on top of your left hand. And then come all the way up. Come back to center. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Inhale here, maybe rock side to side. And then as you exhale, straighten your legs. Rest your arms by your side for just a minute or so of a quiet Shavasana. Of course, if you have time to stay here for a minute or longer than a minute, you're welcome to stay. But I'll bring everyone else back up after 1 minute. Take a moment and register what it feels like to be lying here being in your body. And draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll off to your right side. Pause. And then press yourself up to a seat. Sit with a nice, tall, lifted chest. Hands to your thighs. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart as a gesture of gratitude for taking the time to be present and to take care of yourself. So thank you for practicing. We'll see you again soon.